listening to Football Field Pass, the #1 podcast for Premier League and college football news, analysis, and more. Hey everybody, welcome to Football Field Pass. My name is Kevin and this is
Chris.
What's up, Chris? How you doing this week?
What up, dog? What's up, man?
Not much, man. I'm just ready to talk some football. We have college football back. We actually got to watch legitimate college football this past weekend, man, and plus a lot of soccer. I'm excited.
Bro,
I mean, do you have a good weekend?
It was a good weekend. Filled with this. I mean, we had Chelsea and Luton, and we had full fixtures on Saturday, then college football on Saturday, college football night on Saturday, which if you didn't tell me, I would have never known that USC was playing
San Jose State.
State. So,
yeah.
Dude, and then we had I had to watch F1 this weekend, and I had to watch more fixtures this weekend, and I can only imagine. Which, by the way, I'm now involved in a fantasy football league.
Oh, geez,
job that I'm at. So now I gotta watch NFL. It is good to be. It's almost as much if you are a Marvel DC franchise fan of all that. It is a good time to be alive in sports. So
absolutely, man, absolutely. There is no better time than right now. It's such a good time. We got so much exciting stuff going on, and so much exciting stuff to talk about. Yeah, man. So, do you want to jump on in, bro?
We were ready to do this. We're ready to go.
Are we ready to jump on down to the field? So,
the field. I forgot.
You forgot your field pass, man.
This is our podcast, and I forgot.
Stay up in the box. You're kicked out, man.
I think our listeners might have field passes.
They do. So, those of you except Chris, come on down with me to the field. Grab your field pass. We're going to jump into field pass news. We're going to start off, I think, tonight with college football news because there's a lot going on and college football starts. There's games this Thursday. We had week 0 this past week with some games that maybe people were excited about just to have college football on TV. Some, also, we're not excited. Like, okay, it's just week 0 teams. The thrilling matchup of San Diego State against Ohio, and not the Ohio State, but Ohio Bobcats.
Yes. Yes.
But yeah, man, there's some good stuff coming this week. First off, foremost, I don't know if you saw, man, but Arizona State self-imposed bowl ban on themselves for this year. Did you see that?
I did. Very interesting on that. It all goes back to Herman Edwards and
good whatever. Herm Edwards, bro.
Which is a letdown because he's all about leadership. He's all about setting an example, and I mean he's a founding father as far as being in the NFL.
Yep.
I don't. It's kind of surprising that this has happened. I don't know what did happen. I only know is that they self-imposed themselves to not be in the bowl. But did you find any what?
Yeah, I dug into. So if y'all haven't shout out, we're not getting paid for this. 247 Sports, man.
Yeah, great
college football news every single day. That's one of my religiously visited websites,
other than the Bible and the 24/7.
Yeah, exactly. So this is actually an ongoing investigation that's been going on for 2 years. They could have actually done it last year while Herm Edwards was still employed, but they decided not to act at that moment. So they decided to go on to it. They knew that they would have to report these issues. And most teams these days, when they self-impose things on themselves, they're just hoping that the NCAA won't slap their wrist too hard afterwards. And instead, we'll just give them a gentle little you shouldn't have done that. But really, the big thing that caused this is that Herm Edwards directly participated in quote-unquote impermissible recruiting, which involved meeting with recruits on Arizona State's campus and at other locations, which was including a rented home in Paradise Valley in Arizona during a period in which no contact was allowed, which was during the COVID pandemic in 2020. So
do Do you think burgers were involved?
Burgers were not involved. I mean, I bet they had a better spread than burgers. Sadly, I'm sure Herm Edwards is like, you want some of these chicken wings, man? Here, I got some sushi. I got some.
Oh God!
I mean, what is the
violations? Like what? Come to Arizona State, okay? We're gonna have a good time talking about it. No violation.
You're not allowed to talk about it. It's a dead period.
I mean, the kid hasn't made the decision, so who cares?
This is the one thing I hate about NCAA is that someone in Indianapolis is sitting there ready just to ruin someone's day, because they want to control and create a fair play market for recruiting. So they're trying to create equal advantages for all teams, but really, with NIL, you can't do that anymore. Like, NIL has completely changed the landscape. It's completely changed the way, they've recruited and they can propose violations. And here, I mean, it's even affected like good teams. Like, for example, Mason Smith, star defensive lineman for LSU. By the way, if y'all haven't noticed, we have our lovely rival backgrounds here. Chris Rock and his Crimson Tide background, Crimson Tide cap.
That's number one. I'm just
the number one. Okay, I thought hey, hold up a minute. I thought you were about to give me another finger there for a sec because I have an LSU background with that beautiful national championship trophy.
Sometimes I can't even look at you because I want to puke. That
yellow. Yeah, but Mason Smith, star defensive lineman from LSU, he actually got a first game suspension put on him by the NCAA for going to a autograph signing event for which apparently he received remuneration like a month before NIL rules were approved. So now he has to sit out one of the biggest games of the year against Florida State to open their season this Sunday. And it's absolutely ridiculous.
I think they talked about this on the Saturday college game day.
Yeah, they did. They did talk about it.
Pat McAfee was like, "This is ridiculous." I'm with Pat McAfee.
Oh, me same here.
As soon as we get big, I'm going to stand up when we record. I'm just going to have
stand up with shorts, shorts on.
No shirtless, and be like, "That's bull crap." This is ridiculous.
It's ridiculous. And so anyway, Arizona State, they said they were going to wait till they got to this year. They figured they would have a bad team after the whole Herm Edwards recruitment or Herm Edwards firing. I mean, Herm Edwards got fired in the coldest way too last year. I don't know if you saw that. He got basically after the last game of the field, they found him on the field. They said, "Hey, we're done," and walked away from him on the field. Him, the athletic director, and the university president. Yeah, I mean, Herm Edwards did things differently, but it's terrible that the NCAA continues to meddle. And then two, on top of it, Arizona State only is electing, because of this self-imposed recruiting violation punishment, they're electing to only pay Herm Edwards half of his remaining salary that they owe him instead of the full amount. So Herm Edwards, man, he's just getting drugged. But yeah, I mean, it's rough. But dude, any other thoughts you have on that?
Toilet paper, man. Let's move on.
Toilet paper. Let's wipe it. Dude, so next kind of big news happening in college football this week. There's more conference realignment, bro. More conference realignment.
I don't know what this is going to be. I think there's some fans out there. My boy Flynn, shout out to Larry Flynn. Notre Dame, not anymore. He's a little upset. He's upset with college football right now because of these alignments.
Yeah.
Stanford, Cal, and SMU? What are they doing?
They're looking actually to, there's a lot of reports coming out say that they're looking to join the ACC, man, in 2024. What business does Cal have being in the Atlantic Coast Conference? Stanford, same thing. Another California team. Two California teams. That's all it is TV rights deal. And this whole cataclysmic event stems from the Pac-12 commissioners' terrible handling of the TV rights deals.
Yep.
Absolutely. All the universities want is money.
Mm-hmm.
And it's ruining so many great rivalries. There's going to be no more Oklahoma State anymore. Bedlam's gone.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
Texas Tech. All these
Yep.
great rivalries that have happened. The only one that's going to be preserved is the Red River rivalry because Oklahoma and
Texas coming in our
going
division.
to SEC. They're going to come on over to the Southeast.
And so here's a good part of it. Like if I'm Miami or lived in Miami,
yeah,
or anything else like that, or if I'm North Carolina,
yeah,
and these guys are coming in ACC, this is going to build rivalry of like, you coming in our house, you coming in our division, we'll show you how it is.
Yeah.
And if our SEC fans and players and recruitments need to know that Texas and Oklahoma are visitors. Like Missouri, who? What? Like
Missouri's family now. You don't talk about family that way. There are redheaded stepchild.
They still not. They got another couple of years. Who else did they come in with? Missouri, and there was somebody
Missouri,
else.
And it was my goodness, Missouri,
Texas A&M.
A&M, yeah, TAMU, yeah.
Now Texas A&M, we have, okay, but Oklahoma and Texas, you think you come in here and you think you do, this is where it becomes a good thing for robbery.
Yep,
and this is a good thing because it's going to piss me off when they come in and think they know how to play, and we show them how it is. Like the Brandon Spikes, Nasha Marino's first hit in the Georgia and Florida game, going to knock him off his cleats. Yeah. So I think it's going to be a good thing, but I think also it's going to create some what's the word?
Animosity.
I think it's going to create a lot of that. You think you come in here because you think you could come you big college and some money? No. No.
Well,
this is where the pride comes in.
Yeah, and I see all these posts all the time, like by Oklahoma fans saying, you guys better get ready. You're about to just start losing all the time. You don't realize what's coming to you with Oklahoma and Texas joining the conference. Like, there is nothing more delusional than Texas and Oklahoma fans. I mean, I'm sorry, Texas fans, any Texas or Oklahoma fans who listen to us, but y'all need to get some realistic expectations every year. You got to be like my friend Chris over here. Oh, sorry, you're over here. My friend Chris over here. He, the dude wanted to rank the Alabama Crimson Tide number 18 this year with a Nick Saban coach team.
A little exaggerating 18, but yeah, it's almost like you would say it'd be 18.
you want to rank them so low. You're like, they don't even deserve a ranking this year, even though they have a stacked roster. So that's what I'm saying. It's just they got to learn some self-respect, some humility. They can talk. They don't get to talk badly about Mizzou until they've earned it. Mizzou, they've earned the right to be our redhead stepchild.
They're like Vandy. They're like Vandy to me.
Yeah, exactly. But anyway, man, we're going to talk a little more about conference realignment as we go later in the podcast.
Yeah, man.
I'm excited to talk about that. There's a bunch of more movement happening, but let's keep moving on through our upfront news and on the field with the field pass. I got some fun news for you, bro. Remember how we were talking this week? We posted on our Instagram. Speaking of which, shout out to our Instagram account. Go follow us on all socials. Got to do it. Shout out to that. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, the Bird app. Go check out our website. But College Game Day has a new song starting this week.
Mm-hmm.
No longer will it be Big and Rich's coming to your city.
Mm-hmm.
Darius Rucker will be the new artist, along with Lainey Wilson and a group called the Cadillac 3, to give us the sweet, sweet sounds of College Game Day.
So I skipped over that first name.
Yeah. You mean Darius Rucker? Darius Rucker, no, Booty and the Blowfish. No, Darius Rucker, bro.
I went right into Lainey Wilson. I'm on board. I love me some Lainey Wilson. Look, my heart is like a truck. All right, so I got him.
I'm gonna miss Big and Rich, man. I'm gonna miss Big and Rich.
Listen, it's a handoff. I think Big and Rich would respect that. I think,
and they do. They did
a good run, but give me some. I like me some Lainey. I'm sorry,
but I mean, on top of that, though, I mean, you do get Lainey Wilson, yes, Lainey Wilson, but you also get Darius Rucker, Hootie of Hootie and the Blowfish himself. Now country legend, singing that.
Oh,
So
I
it's
know
gonna.
who Cadillac 3 is. Give me some Cadillac 3, some Lainey Wilson. All right, we're good. We're good. I like the little nod. It better be a good song. I'll tell you that
We'll
right
see.
now.
Maybe it's a reimagining of Coming to Your City. We'll see.
Right.
We'll find out, y'all. Saturday morning. Check it out. Let us know what you think of it.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah, man. But yeah. Any more college football news, man, that you've heard about around?
Bro, let's go across the pond, brother.
I'm ready to head across the pond. Let's swim. Are we swimming? Or are we taking a boat?
It's not the Titanic. Oh,
well, I mean, unless you're gonna hold me on the concern.
I'm king of the world.
I'm flying, Jack. Not a lot going on with major news this week. There's been one story though in the Premier League that has absolutely dominated, not Premier League, but just soccer in general worldwide, that has dominated headlines.
Yeah.
And that has been, we covered it last week, we talked about it, but is the scandal within the Spanish, that's Spain, not, yes, there's other countries that speak Spanish, US. The Spanish Football Association, the women's team just won the World Cup. It was a great celebration, joyous moment for a lot of women who've worked so hard. But then Spanish FA president Luis Rubiales decided to go in there and force an unwanted kiss, unwanted groping, unwanted touching on Jenny Hermoso and some of the Spanish women's national team members. As we said last week, just a quick recap, Rubiales said, oh, it was consensual. It was a mutual show of affection between two friends. Well, this week, stuff got real.
Got real. It got really weird. Real.
Jenny Hermoso, the women's football player in general, she came out and put out a definitive statement that this was never anything I wanted. This was never anything, any mutual show of affection. This was an unwanted kiss forced on me by a man who has made being a professional football player within her country nightmare for the past couple years. So Rubiales, obviously being the couth gentleman that he is, decided to say, I'm not going anywhere. I will not resign. Like a dictator on his way out, bro.
I'm not going anywhere. I don't know who would be cheering on that one, but yeah,
no one's cheering. There's protests around the world. Professional women's football players, male football players are all supporting her. They're with her. It's literally the world against Luis Rubiales right now. Even I think the coach that they said they didn't want anymore.
Oh yeah, he resigned. Yeah. Staff and resigned. I don't know how much more action that speaks louder than words. That I'm for my player. Bye.
Yeah, so they're doing what they're supposed to. So it's really on Rubiales right now. The Spanish Parliament, the Spanish Prime Minister, everyone is calling around the world for Rubiales to resign, and he refuses to. And then get this of how this story gets crazier. Is that Rubiales' mother locked herself inside a church today because she is tired of the attacks on her son, and she is staying there and praying until it stops. Well, I hate to tell you, Mama Rubiales, but they're gonna stop till he's out of there.
That's crazy, man.
Tell your son to resign. And
the situation is not funny. Like what happened was not funny, but when we're talking about Mama
Rubiales locking herself in the church, man, it's crazy.
I got nothing, man. I got nothing. Go ahead, man.
I know you got nothing, but overall,
I think I briefly saw that, and I'm like, I didn't know what it was.
Is this real?
It's real now.
It's real, and the real way to resolve this is there's no question about it. Rubiales has to resign. He has to resign. He needs to issue an apology. And I don't think he'll ever be allowed to work in professional or national football ever again. Ever again, man. So we'll see what happens. We'll continue, as always, here with Football Field Pass. We'll continue providing you the updates and the breaking news as we always do. You're going to get the best from us, hands down. We may not only support some of the best football teams in the U.S. and across the world, but we also try to bring you that number one news. Anyway, man, any other Premier League news that you've heard about this week that you want to cover, man?
Not really, man. Let's move
All
on
right.
to let's go down. Let's go down to the pitch, man.
We head to the pitch, man. We got a lot of great matches this past weekend. Match week 3 with craziness in the table, bro.
Just the 3 on the table that we had, but there was the toss up that we watched. It was the Tottenham game was even fantastic just because go Tottenham, go Hotspurs. West Ham's game was just
absolutely ludicrous.
Just like it was when you guys played against Chelsea. Chelsea game was domination.
You expected, yeah.
But it was a lot was going on. But I think you agree with this when we talk at the toss-up game that we had. Newcastle Liverpool was the match of the weekend.
Oh, hands down. There's no question about it that Newcastle Liverpool was the match of the weekend. I think that's the first one we should talk about since that's our match of the weekend.
Perfect.
Yeah. So what are your initial thoughts on that, man? Like, I mean, it's absolutely insane. Like the 2-1 with 10 men for Liverpool. Jurgen Klopp's hyped up. He's beating his chest in front of the Liverpool stand, man. What are your thoughts of this match initially, man?
The ending, like just ridiculous craziness. What do I think? This game was crazy.
Yeah,
this game was the passion on this. Like, I don't think the Newcastle on paper. Newcastle won this game.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay. But like Newcastle they had their chances. We'll get into that point. But just overall, it was a great chess matchup. I think Newcastle knew what they were doing. They were attacking well.
Mm-hmm.
But I think when Gordon left, things started to change a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, absolutely,
overall, like Liverpool should have won this game.
Oh no, and no way should. But again, this is this beautifully insane game that we love, man. This is that beautifully insane game we love.
Beautifully insane game.
Yep, and both teams came out with a pretty evenly matched 4-3-3. Liverpool's midfield the whole day was just absolutely just getting manhandled by Newcastle for most
every
of it.
Which way but loose.
And they're they had them going on. There's a kind of cool subplot going on though too. I don't know if you saw Anthony Gordon and the inverted right back sometimes. Trent Alexander-Arnold, what was going on between them? They're getting super chippy, man.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if you saw that.
I did see that. I did. I saw a little bit of it. No, it's probably not as much as you did.
Yeah. So after only 5 minutes, Trent Alexander-Arnold received a yellow card for flicking the ball away in frustration because he was absolutely shoved unceremoniously into the technical area, like roughly, like knocked down by Anthony Gordon. And it was completely missed by the ref. But, when he kicked the ball away because he was frustrated, the ref's like, nope, yellow, throwing the card up in that air. And then a minute later, Alexander-Arnold blocked Gordon's path by literally flinging out an arm and catching the winger with a stray elbow. That's a totally yellow card worthy moment there.
Yeah.
But the ref, Brooks, he said, you know what? I think I missed that earlier. I'm gonna pocket this guy because he wanted to probably get that red out there. But it didn't have to. He didn't have to wait too long because Van Dijk was thrown out in the 28th minute shortly after.
I think I don't know. Something was chippy about Van Dijk because maybe he should have. Maybe it was a little harsh, but that was crazy. When that happened, that was just.
Yep.
He had a few choice words that if you people don't know how to read words like I don't, but what certain words look like when somebody secretly yells at you. Yes. That's what he said.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Very colorful.
Very, very colorful.
I don't know. What do you think? Was it right?
I think I don't think it was a red card worthy. It should have been yellow. I mean, there's no doubt about that. But it was pretty rough. It was a rough move. He got some ball on it. I don't think it was enough though to really throw him completely out of the game and reduce Liverpool to 10 men. Which I mean, Liverpool, they were on the ropes the whole time, and this put them on the ropes even more.
Mm-hmm.
Losing Van Dijk, who's one of the best defenders in the world.
Mm-hmm.
And this is also after going down 1-0, 3 minutes, before that sending off. That was the hard part. Miguel Almiron, the former Atlanta United player, could have had Newcastle up by 2 going into the half. There's a lot of opportunities. They had them on that.
Let's talk about that.
Yeah.
25, 35, 88. And maybe there was one more that I missed.
Yeah.
2 of them were Albonio?
Almiron.
2 of them were for Almiron. There was a third one. I forgot who that was.
Yeah.
But they had 3 chances. 3.
Yeah.
I think there was a fourth one. I forgot what time that was. But at 25, 35, and 88.
Yeah.
That's a 4-1 game. 4-2 game.
But Alisson, the goalkeeper for Liverpool, man, he was absolutely standing on his head.
Yes.
Oh, he was insane, bro.
Yes. They defended well.
Yeah.
But that goalkeeper should deserve a medal, should deserve a beer at the end there.
Oh, he did.
Take him out. The players should take him out. The manager should be like,
yeah,
you're my son. Like, there should be a
lot of
options. I don't know, but
I love Jurgen Klopp, man. I love Jurgen Klopp.
And here's why. Did you see how many shots they had against?
Oh, yeah.
23 shots. 23 shots.
Oh, yeah. It was 23 shots to 9.
To 9.
They dominated possession 60-40. Newcastle was 60-40 possession, 23 shots to 9. They had 8 on target to Liverpool's 4. I mean, their pass accuracy was above. They completed about 200 more passes, than them. They on paper again should have won this. But I will give credit. Match. I will give credit to great tactic and motivation by Jurgen Klopp for Liverpool. When Van Dijk was thrown off, Klopp made a great adjustment by sacrificing attacking forward Luis Diaz and bringing in Joe Gomez to kind of solidify the midfield, which was really loose all day because the defensive pressure from Newcastle wreaked a lot of havoc on Liverpool for most of the match. But lo and behold, Superman himself, Darwin flipping Núñez, man.
Wow. So during, like I said, so overall, we're watching this match and 25, 27, 35, 44 minutes, 62 minutes, 88 minutes. Well, not even that. Before we went to Darwin, there's 74 minutes, 80 minutes left. Yep. And they're like, what is going on? There was a change. And then Darwin hit that one goal that got that first goal.
Yeah, in the 81st minute. Yeah.
Who is Darwin? Where did he come? Why is he on the bench? Why is he not starting?
Oh, dude. Oh, man. Darwin Núñez. I mean, he got subbed in the 77th minute, and 4 minutes later, he is making a difference in a key game.
Yeah.
So this Uruguayan striker, he was brought in about, I think, not this past summer, but the summer prior to this, to try and add some motivation really to Mo Salah to start getting forward. He's been brought up through some really good teams. He was actually at a Benfica the Portuguese team, in Lisbon, in the top flight of Portuguese football before he got brought over in the summer of 22 to Liverpool. And really with Liverpool, he's kind of just taken a while to really adapt England. He was a big transfer fee. They paid a lot of money for him.
Yeah, from Brazil.
Yeah. I mean, 64. He's from Portugal. He's from Portugal. Just jumped across to the north. They paid a lot of money for him, and it was again too. Let's see. I'm trying to remember exactly what the biggest thing was, but yeah, he basically was they're trying to get him over there. He got him over there. He made a lot of great work for them. But yeah, this is his debut this week. This is his kind of coming into his own. this weekend with Liverpool, kind of coming off the bench from Benfica, kind of showing that, hey, I'm the future. Mo Salah, he can go off to Saudi Arabia if he wants. You guys are safe with me.
Don't talk about Salah. Salah. No,
Salah.
don't talk about
Dude,
Salah.
Yeah, no. Jurgen Klopp loves Mo Salah, and he doesn't want him to go. He refuses. Actually, a Saudi club came to try to come in and get Mo Salah this past week. And Jurgen Klopp came in with machetes, like, get the heck away from my boy.
Machete.
But anyway, Darwin Núñez, man, comes in the 77th minute, subs in, comes in, and then 4 minutes later, 81st minute, draws them level with a beautiful goal. And then we get into stoppage time. My brother.
That's what saved him.
It was
only 4 minutes. It was only 4 minutes.
Yeah, 4 minutes. And then at the 3rd minute of stoppage time, Núñez draws it level. And
not only draws it level,
it draws
the guy's butt.
Yeah.
It hits the guy's butt.
Yeah. And
then he takes it because of that mistake.
Yeah.
And shoots the goal.
Yeah.
Unreal.
Yeah. So basically, really, Botman, I believe the keeper for not Botman. Botman was the defensive center back. Botman was the center back for Newcastle. Yep. He made a really mess of it. The ball ricocheted off his back, really, and Núñez basically, nope, I'm coming in, low right-footed drive, bottom left corner of the goal, brings it level, and then a couple more minutes pass by, 10 minutes pass by.
It was done.
Well, 85th minute. Yeah, the 85th minute though, Núñez gets a yellow. He played his heart out for those 15, 20 minutes he was on the field. He basically was trying to prevent Newcastle taking quick free kicks, so he kind of foolishly kicked the ball away to stop Newcastle doing it. But we get stoppage time, and Newcastle, and a lot of things were happening. I know there was that at the 89th minute, there was the supporters in Newcastle were appealing for a handball on Robertson. There was that whipped attempt inside the area. But Brooks and the VAR basically did not show any inclination to give a penalty for that for Newcastle. Anderson had a great option right there in the 90th minute or the 2nd minute of stoppage time to get that goal in. But lo and behold, Mo Salah, the Egyptian wonder himself, gets the assist, gets it to Darwin Núñez in the 3rd minute of stoppage time in the sudden depth. Man, Núñez comes in off the bench, scores a brace. Right down, down the right-hand side to Núñez, who really took his time before slotting it right into that far corner. It was really a great goal, and I know Jurgen Klopp was fired up at the end. And after 7 minutes of stoppage time, Liverpool came out victorious. Man, I mean, I think Núñez for the man of that match, it's Núñez hands down.
It's Núñez hands down. Darwin Núñez hands down. Like I said, 25, 35, 88. That's the time that Newcastle should have won that game. 88, if anything. There was one more chance in there. I forget what it was, but you got to think. You had chances to win that game. You lost it. And then they were just not ball handling well. I think they This is my father thought. I think Darwin was a huge variable, and was the team tired.
Yep. So they took advantage where they had to, and that's the beauty of this game. But let's move on, man. Let's go to our next match. Do you want to talk the early match?
You're ready to have it.
You're ready to have it. The craziest match this week. Oh my gosh. We're talking about 2nd place in the Premier League. West Ham United, my boys, the claret and blue, the Irons. I gotta switch this over right now just because I'm ready for it. I'm ready for it. Man, this was such a great match this week. I mean, it was chippy. It was a chippy match. The whole way through. West Ham United, they had I don't know what happened, bro. I mean, let's just go off the stats first. Brighton had 25 shots on goal, 10 shots on target, where West Ham had only 12 shots on goal,
I
or
know.
12 shots the whole day, with 7 being on target.
I,
Possession. Brighton possessed the ball 78% of the game. Completed 749 passes.
I don't get this,
man. Had 89% pass accuracy.
I don't get this, man. I don't.
They play.
You're ridiculous. Your team is ridiculous.
They got 17 corners. You know how many corners West Ham got? 4.
4.
They only had 22% possession. I mean, there is no way
they're just playing. They're just playing from that stat alone. West Ham's playing smart,
and that's all they're doing. Yeah, and that's the beauty of a David Moyes coach team. Like, he manages them so well. Playing very opportunistic football, very high press, very heavy defensive. We're only going to take chances when we can. We're going to exploit the ones we can for this. But, there was Paqueta, again, another week with him being chippy, villain of the match. I sent you that video of him in the armbar and, juggling on his head.
That was freaking ridiculous. Yeah. I'm afraid to play West Ham right now.
Yeah.
But to dare is to do, so let's bring it.
But, man, Brighton, they created a lot of beautiful opportunities. They created a lot of beautiful passes. They were consistently pushing and pressing the whole game. There's no doubt that Brighton was the better team today. Mm-hmm. There's no doubt about it. But West Ham stifled their offense with absolutely superb defense. And when the prior week, when Chelsea exploited their wingbacks, both fullbacks, they came in and had absolutely solid play from both fullbacks the whole game. Mm-hmm. Superb. And the best part is, though, they were throwing perfectly placed balls down the other side of the field. When they had the opportunity, they played that offside, not that offside trap, but they played that opportunistic football. When they had Brighton all going forward, they're like, nope, boom. They had beautifully placed balls. Mikel Antonio was beautiful in that game. James, my man of the match for this is James Ward-Prowse, the transfer from Bournemouth. He has been an absolute stud this entire season. The guy has beautiful placement of the ball.
Yeah. We talked about him last week, and consistency is the best. I think you would say Premier League football or any football is consistency is the best, correct? So if you're consistent in the field and you keep bringing it, you would say that?
I would say his placement is what is the most consistent. He has absolute dead-on accuracy. His corners and his kicks up to the striker to create opportunities on offense. I think him and Mikel Antonio have paired so well, and same with Bowen. Bowen, Ward-Prowse, and Mikel Antonio, man. They've absolutely been just lights out. I mean, you've got such a great. I mean, and the thing is too, West Ham played a 4-1-4-1.
I saw that.
Yeah, compared to the 4-2-3-1 that what Brighton was employing. And
are you a 4-1-4-1?
I like the 4-1-4-1 because I like the opportunities it creates both defensively and offensively. Yeah. It allows you to drop your right mids and your left mids, your wingers kind of back a little more, but you got to have the speed guys. And Bowen and Paqueta are both speedy wings. Same with Prowse, same with Souček. And Edison Alvarez, El Machine, as they call him, he's an absolute wonder on that. I will say Emerson and Kufal both really played very good football the whole way. But here's the real star of the game. Other than Ward-Prowse, Alphonse Areola, the goalkeeper for West Ham, man. That guy made save after save after save to keep them in this match. Mm-hmm. Wow. So, yeah, man. I thought it was a great match. I really am excited about West Ham United this year. As a West Ham United supporter, I can't get any more excited about what's happening than what's happening right now. Yeah. I mean, the Premier League table looks absolutely insane. West Ham are in second place right now.
Look who's second and third, brother. Look who's second and third.
Hey, we got some great fixtures coming up this week, man. I mean, West Ham hopefully will beat Luton Town, and they won't rest on their laurels.
Just go easy on them at this point. I mean,
I
just
mean,
go easy. You beat Chelsea, and then you make Brighton look like a fool. So just
yeah,
go easy for the poor boys. They are going through a little tough season as well. But
yeah,
speaking of Luton, because we're gonna go with that,
yeah.
but
I think we
before we
should.
get
Yeah,
there,
yeah,
like West Ham did a great. I think this was a
yeah.
great match. It was a great
Mhm.
match against Brighton. Brighton was coming off a really good first place, being in the Premier League tables. Boy, they kind of hit hard going to
Yeah,
6 now. So good match, man.
yeah. I
Good
mean,
match. And then,
bubbles. The bubbles are flying high.
oh
The
my
goals are a
goodness.
little lower. Here's the bubbles. Here's the goals.
Well, like I said, go easy on Luton
We'll see what happens, man. Luton may
because
come out and shock us. They may be tired about being kicked around, man.
I. Well, let's talk about Luton and what happened in Chelsea. Chelsea, I mean, real quick about the Chelsea. This was my match. Nothing really. Sterling was amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Sterling was the
Yep.
man on this
He
game.
redeemed himself.
This man was Raheem Sterling. Is just not only did he score 2 of the goals, he assisted
Mm-hmm.
the last one to Jackson, which was a beautiful goal right in the middle, as far as an assist. Just Chelsea looked like Chelsea.
Yeah.
Now I know they're playing Luton, but this was a good. Hey, we need this because they have looked good, but if we play West Ham, you look like a fool. Like it really, this will get you down. Luton had a great chance
Yeah.
to play them and give it to Luton. They did actually a great job playing them.
Mm-hmm.
But it was only a matter of time when your possession is only 32%. Maybe they did take the attack of West Ham. Okay. Less possession, less shots. But when you're only having 11 shots and
Yeah.
you know, you're only you're
Mm-hmm.
you're only getting 11 shots or 32.8% and one on target, you're not gonna win. You're not gonna be West Ham.
He's not gonna pull
So
off the
you're not
ludicrous.
gonna pull up on
Like the kings of mediocrity. West Ham.
but Luton did first 15. I think it was first half that
Yep.
Luton actually did a really good job as far as keeping tabs with Chelsea.
Yeah.
But Raheem Sterling just dominated. The
Yeah.
Chelsea team dominated, defended well.
Yep.
It was a clean sheet.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, by halftime it was 1-0, but
Yeah.
after that, if you don't have a plan of attack, if you don't make the adjustments that you should,
Yep.
Chelsea's gonna get you. So
Yeah, and I think that one goal by that solo dribble that Sterling had, the first goal,
yeah, mm-hmm.
absolutely possible contender for goal of the season.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, and I think this match too was a definite confidence builder for a team that was in desperate need of it too.
Desperate.
Yeah,
Desperate. Because if
yeah.
Luton Town beat Chelsea,
yeah,
ouch.
Pochettino would probably be on the hot seat there.
That would have been an extremely fast firing. Because wasn't he at Tottenham?
He was. He left Tottenham to take a different job.
He wasn't fired, right? Because he was on the documentary.
Yeah.
All in for Tottenham's documentary, right? And then he just,
yeah, he jumped ship to take a different job, and I believe it actually was Chelsea. I think I can't remember which job he jumped for though.
Mm-hmm.
It was because he was with Tottenham. Yeah, and then no, he took the PSG job 2 years later.
Gotcha.
No, he was fired actually. Never mind, he was fired.
Yeah,
by
I think
Tottenham.
he was fired.
Yeah,
he
he was fired. You're right. Yeah, he was fired by Tottenham.
Yeah.
Because they were displeased with his results there. So yeah, man. So but then he was at PSG for 2 years. Then Chelsea decided they were going to hire him. Todd Bowley liked him and wanted to bring him on. But yeah, man, it'll be interesting to see what Chelsea keeps doing. Raheem Sterling's found a lot of new life. He's been a consistent threat against West Ham, against Luton. Most had written him off as a failure of a player after last season. Pochettino has given him new life and new blood. I'm really excited to see that. I'm also excited to see that Luton Town right now. they look because they finally I think have finished all the updates they were supposed to make to their pitch and their field.
Mm-hmm.
And so the first Premier League match next week against West Ham United will be happening at Kenilworth Road in Luton Town.
Wow. Yeah, I'll be interested in watching that because I heard the stadium's supposed to be.
It's a crazy. If y'all haven't seen the stadium, go just Google Luton Town grounds, Kenilworth Road. It's the smallest Premier League pitch ever. They actually had to cancel their first Premier League match they were supposed to have at home. I think it's against Burnley, because O'Bonley, as they say over there, to try and finish all the updates that Premier League requires to host a match there. So if you see it like to get into some of the stands, you walk up staircases that go through people's backyards. Like you can literally look into little Bob doing the laundry over there while Mary over there has a cuppa,
Yeah.
There was a joke earlier. I saw a meme this week where all the all the players who get sent off at Luton are going to go off smiling this year because they're going to go across the street and watch the rest of the match, with Joe and have a cup of tea or a pint, But anyway, man, I think that I'm excited for a match week 4 brings. There will be some good matches coming up this week. Chelsea and Nottingham are playing. We got Man City, Fulham, Newcastle, Brighton, and then Arsenal and Man United play. So there'll be some good things coming this week. But we'll talk about those more later, about matches upcoming.
Yeah.
Let's head to the gridiron, man. You want to head to the striped field?
We're heading to gridiron.
We'll head to gridiron, a good old gridiron for those of you over here in
Who was your game? Your game was Navy versus Notre Dame versus Navy. Right?
Yeah, my game was Navy.
Let's go to Ireland.
We didn't go too far actually. From England, from Jolly Old. We just went north.
Oh yeah, let's just go right up north. Right?
We're just gonna head right up. Actually, where it's more like west.
It's more northeast.
Northwest. Yeah. West. Yeah. West. Because I forgot my picture slipped.
This was a tough game for Notre Dame.
Man, Notre Dame's got such an easy schedule this year.
This was close.
42-3.
Oh my
in Aviva Stadium in Dublin. Their game got delayed from their start because of coverage of actual Premier League match on television in Ireland. So, but either way, for those of you who watch, I'm sure you watch it because you were just itching for college football. This is the first college football game of the season. Notre Dame played in their annual series against Navy in Ireland. They dismantled the midshipmen. Midshipmen are coming into a season with a brand new coach. They fired longtime coach of Navy, who got them to brilliant heights. Navy used to be a team to be reckoned with under Ken Niumatalolo, but they decided to move on from him after last season. They just retired to the disappointment. They lost to Army too many times, and if you're, you play for a service academy, the Navy Army game, that's the biggest game of the year. If you lose to Army too many times, you're fired. If you lose to Navy too many times, you're fired. It's just how it is at the service academies. But a lot of Irish fans, I think, were a little tense going into this. Notre Dame last year had a really sloppy and slow start. I think they started out the year 0-3. And a lot of Irish fans were really scared this year. But I can think they can rest a lot easier after seeing how they performed on both sides of the ball. They were efficient through the air. They were efficient on land. Sam Hartman, the Wake Forest transfer QB, he was 19 of 23 with 251 yards, 4 touchdowns before they pulled him out of the game to give the backup a little experience. Even on the ground, they had 2 rushing touchdowns. And how many yards did what was their running back's name?
Estamine was 95 yards.
95 yards, 2 rushing touchdowns. That's a solid game for them.
Greehouse.
No,
that's wide receiver. This team only had one touchdown.
Yeah.
So,
yep.
But it was a tough game.
Yeah, it was absolutely. I was happy to see Notre Dame doing that, man. But
It was a tough game for Navy to be
it
even
was
going to
very
that
tough.
stadium. So,
Well, I think Navy looked like a complete disappointment under their new head coach, Brian Newberry.
man,
Newberry, dude,
it's Navy, man. It's Navy. It's you
I
keep them in
still
the Navy Army
expect.
game.
No, I still expect if you're a service academy, you're going to be a tough fight every single time. The service academies, because they run that triple option offense, that's what they're known for. And they're stalwarts on it. They always are hard to prepare for because even if you lack talent, triple option is still a hard offense to defend against. And I think credit to Notre Dame's defensive staff and their game plan on the defensive side of the ball for planning well to completely dismantle the service academy. Newberry, the new coach, though, I think he's a wet blanket of a coach, man. He basically has been defensive coordinator since 2019 at Navy, and after Niumatalolo was fired, they're just like, hey, why don't we just promote this guy? They didn't go out and try to find a good guy like Army did when they got Monken as their coach. Army's been actually a great team the past few years. But Newberry, he actually promised in his opening press conference this past summer to open up a little more. Instead of running that standard triple option, he actually was trying to open up. He promised to open up more with passing in the game, but they only attempted like 2 passes, and they're both failures. The thing about the Navy, they look disorganized. They look sloppy. They look like they weren't communicating. They look like they didn't know what was going on. Yeah, it's just. Honestly, my takeaways from this, man, really, Sam Hartman. Dude is a solid QB. I think he's one of the best QBs in college football. He was top notch at Wake Forest last year.
Yeah, solid. I heard that. Yeah.
This year he has a really good offensive line. I think 2 of the best offensive tackles in college football are on his line. So he had a lot of time to really work. This is the most solid the QB position has looked for Notre Dame, and I think the longest of times. He's a proven winner. I think, as long as Notre Dame continues to execute properly, they'll be a top 10 team before midseason. Really, though, they also benefit from an easier schedule this year. Notre Dame really.
This was the toughest game they have seen. Listen, I love the optimism. I love how you're all about this day. It's Navy. I don't care if the other coach was in. Notre Dame would have blown them out, and this is Navy. But I love the optimism. But if you're not communicating, if you're not doing the fundamentals of 101 of playing football,
especially on that option offense,
then there's some sloppy football there, and a team like Notre Dame is just gonna sniff that out. Yeah. So totally agree with you on that. Totally agree with you. But this is easy.
I know it's easy. It's a game that a Power 5 team should win. It's just that the service academies are notoriously known for putting up a tough fight. And Navy,
they have in the recent past too that Notre Dame put some. But if you're not communicating well and it looks sloppy and you're embarrassing, you're Navy, by the way, and you're in Ireland. That's one key note what you said there. That should be something to look at too.
Yeah, and Navy, Army, all the service academies that run that triple option, wishbone type offense, flexbone offense, they tend to be, again, like I said, notoriously difficult. They're feisty. They're hard to fight against, and a lot of folks, don't like playing them because of that, because it's a trap game for a lot of folks. Yeah. But again, this year, Navy was just sloppy. They did not look like a traditional service academy. I was very disappointed to call them a representative of our country in that sense. But Notre Dame, they have a really easy schedule this year. What are you thinking for them? Do you think they're gonna, win out? 3 of their first 4 contests are gonna be against not Power 5 teams. They got Navy this past weekend, Tennessee State next weekend, and then they'll play Ohio State, which will be a tougher game, and then Central Michigan University. The toughest games that Notre Dame has on their schedule this year are USC.
Yep.
I believe they play Clemson this year as well. And then after that, I'm trying to remember who else they have. They have NC State, which is a trap game for them. Duke should be a blow off for them. And then Pitt could be a potential trap game for them. But other than that, I mean, I don't see any really tough games that's preventing, Notre Dame from being a 1 or 2 loss team this year.
When they get to Ohio State, let's talk.
Yeah, we'll talk there. We'll see.
Because I'm not even going to talk about, because when we go to my game, my match.
Yeah.
I'm only going to talk the next 3 games. You got to talk to them until Saturday of December 23rd. That's when you can start talking about them. But moving on. Man.
Yeah, let's move on. Let's move on to the next game. We talked about Notre Dame and Navy. We spent too much time in Ireland. Let's jump all the way across the United
Southern
States.
Cal. I actually watched a little bit of this game. I actually got to see a little bit. Got to see highlights.
Same here, man.
I don't know. It's San Jose State. I actually liked Hawaii better fighting than San Jose State. Their quarterback did really well, 3 touchdowns, but this is Southern Cal. You're going into their house, and you're San Jose State. The players are just all there. What I was just so impressed of is Caleb Williams, 4 touchdowns, man.
Yep.
A 76-yard pass that he dropped the ball and he threw the bomb, and the receiver still caught it. That was just impressive. His arm strength is great. His stance looks great.
Yep.
He looks great. His offense looks great. You got 2 receivers and a running back named Austin Jones. Zachary Branch looks really great.
Dude. Oh, yeah.
So just, it seems like a blowout. But like we said about Notre Dame, this is what a number 6 team needs to do. Sorry to say. I just wish these teams, so little rant. I just wish these teams, with as much as my college football career, I just wish these little small teams will have the heart and leadership to be like, this is our bowl game. Okay, this is what we need to do. Yeah. This is what we. If you're going in, and even Alabama, okay, that's why Nick Saban brings these small teams in, and there's no match. But come on, this is your Super Bowl. This is your national championship. Upset them, fight them. That's the only thing I took away from San Jose State. Don't fight, but fight smarter.
Yeah,
because you're not going to go against Zachary Branch, which just his reach is amazing. Yeah, Austin Jones, the offensive lineman, Zachary Branch, offensive line is deep as it is. You got to fight smarter, and these coaches need to know that these kids are just kids.
Yeah.
So as long as my college career, I just wish these small schools would pretend or even be like that this is your national championship. You're not going to I don't think San Jose State's going to see Southern Cal again.
No, and
that's the thing. Like number 6 team did what they're supposed to do.
I'm gonna have to disagree with you on that.
No, there is no disagreement. No, there is no disagreement.
I'll say something. Let me just say my piece on this. I think these teams do take it seriously. I think they do value it like a super. They're not coming in there just like, oh, here we go to get our butts whooped. No, I think they do really try to come in there and put their best effort forward. The problem is it's early season against an absolutely stacked offense. That's the problem here. I think they tried hardest.
When you got Zachary Branch, you got Austin Jones, Caleb Williams is going to be a Heisman. You have an offensive line, it's probably bigger than their defensive line. You got the receivers their reach is amazing. Yeah. You got the top of the line staff with different leadership, top down. If you know you're going to go into that, my argument is you better get that team top down. But again,
they put up 28 points on the number 6 team.
That was another thing. That's another thing. Like
San Jose State puts them to time, and they were 21-14 going into the half.
Yep. Oh, okay. So that was right. I looked at the half and I'm like, wait a minute now.
Yeah.
San Jose State had them, unless USC just had them on check. I don't know.
I don't think they had them on check. I think they got the one area. I mean, the offense, there's no doubt that USC's offense was absolutely extraordinary. Caleb Williams, Zachary Branch, what's the receiver's name? I can't remember his name. They were all
Zachary Branch. The other receiver, he caught for a touchdown too as well.
They were all phenomenal. The offense, it's a Lincoln Riley offense. It's going to be lights out. But once again, The defense is a completely another story for USC.
Yeah, because they put them up. They had them at 21-14. They dropped 2 touchdowns in the second quarter.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, they allowed San Jose State to put up 198 rushing yards on them. And they actually, I mean, and 198 passing yards too. That was the other thing too.
If I was San Jose State, I would look at Cordeiro, which you pronounce his name Cordeiro, and that defense of San Jose State. This is something to take away from. Not as a bad, but this is a positive.
Yeah,
I knew there was something there because their score at half was 21-14.
Yeah,
and then if I read this right, it was 21-21. But then they just ran away with it.
Yeah, they did.
21 points. You can't.
It happens. It happens. But they still got 28 points on one of the best teams in the country.
Yep.
And that's a win for a Mountain West team, I would say.
I think so too. I think Cordero was 238, 198 yards, 3 touchdowns.
198 yards passing, and he also had 52 yards rushing. I mean, that's nothing to balk at, man.
No.
And then the receiver for San Jose State, Nick Nash, man, 89 yards receiving, 3 touchdowns. The dude's a converted QB last year, man.
Yeah. Other receiver on the other end, Washington, 2 receptions, 85. So, but Washington, Jones, Williams, this is the USC team that should do what they should do against a smaller school or a smaller. I wouldn't even say I think with me now at this point, I don't like saying smaller schools. If you have leadership, you have players, you have a team, you have that heart, it's a team.
App State,
Tulane, Troy,
UAB, even when they have his name there.
So this is something that I think Nick Saban's preached.
Yep.
This is something Les Miles has preached. Maybe. Nick
we don't
Saban
like to talk about that guy here anymore.
Yeah, I know. All coaches should know, and all leadership should know that you should. This is your national championship, and I think they did well. I want a little bit more. I want a little bit more.
Yeah.
So.
But I'm gonna say this. My final thought in this game: USC still has plenty of work on defense to do, especially against mobile QBs.
I would agree with that.
Their D line looked a lot better than last year, but the other 2 levels at linebacker at defensive back, those looked quite unimpressive to me. They have time to address it, but Notre Dame's on that schedule coming up at them pretty fast. So we'll see, man. But do you want to move on to the chippy game of the week? The one game that for me was probably the better game of the week.
Real quick.
You
want to look at Trojans next 3, and then we'll move on.
Oh yeah, man. Absolutely.
They're bye. No, their second game is Nevada and Stanford. So if you're Nevada Stanford fans, should national championship.
Yeah,
you'll get them.
Well, Stanford's a Pac-12 team, man. So Stanford should actually put up a fight.
They should put up a fight.
They should put up a fight, and they have the talent, the D1. They have the Power 5 caliber dude. They have a new coach who was very successful at Sacramento State last year. He actually, I think, brought Sacramento State this close to winning a national championship at the FCS level. But we'll see. I think Stanford has a lot of possibility. It's a first-year coach. Nevada, it's probably going to be a lopsided affair again. But I think Stanford, they could do something special if they're well prepared. They got 3 games to do that. So we'll see, man. We'll see.
All right.
Yeah.
Why, Vandy? This is our toss-up. No, this is our toss-up game, right?
Yep, this is our toss-up. This is the one we both decided we wanted to watch.
My quick thoughts again. This is a smaller school that actually put up a fight. Shaker was actually, and believe it or not, I'm going to spoil a little bit. This is my the Gridiron Player of the Week.
Gasp! You spoiled it already. This early? Oh man! Well, if they're listening this long, man, we might as well give them a little something.
Gotta give them something at this point. Brandon Shaker, man, I was impressed by him.
Oh, Brandon Shaker,
a lot of heart, a lot of fight, and again, this is what our podcast can do. We're expanding on other teams, other games to look at because a lot of people are Eagle fans. Green Bay fans, they don't know who Brandon Shaker is, but we know who Brandon Shaker is.
And Braden Shaker, man, he's the guy. Braden Shaker is going to be. How many yards? He put up what? he put up 300 something yards this past
Mhm.
week.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
351 yards.
3 touchdowns.
351 yards.
Mm-hmm.
That's insane, man.
It's insane.
Yeah, and I mean, we're about to talk about the number one team in the SEC currently, Vanderbilt.
You just had to say that, didn't you? You just wanted to say it, be like, give those Vandy fans. We are.
They got a screenshot that while they got it, man.
Champions.
I think it was SEC Bias or Saturday Down South posted an Instagram meme today with a player from Vandy like going like, oh, with like the Vandy number one up there. I mean, enjoy what they got. I mean, I will say this: Vandy understood the challenge. Hawaii is a much improved team from last year. Mm-hmm. I mean, Vandy actually beat Hawaii 63-10 in Hawaii last year. Mm-hmm. So Hawaii, this is a much improved team playing for an entire state right now, especially with the wildfires going on in Hawaii there right now. Mm-hmm. Those devastating wildfires that killed so many. I mean, our thoughts and prayers out to those folks.
Yeah, I wanted to say that, like, I had some friends on Instagram, and as our hearts and prayers are to the Maui, Hawaiian state. This is our country. This is our countrymen.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. It's just it's a sad. I mean, P. Ashlock's family was devastated by this, and he still played. And if you don't think he played for that team, for that family, that Hawaii won this game.
Yeah, I mean they came out and they I mean heart, soul, everything. They won this game.
They won this game, and our hearts and prayers. If you guys are listening, if you guys want to go and help as much as you can, there's a lot you can do now as we are in 2023. You can do whatever you can. I mean, number one is pray, and number two is you can give. So
our heart and give to those agencies that are actually going to get the money there.
Yep.
That's the biggest thing. Yeah.
So football. So here at Football Field Pass, man, we love Hawaii. We think this game was a win for them and for Ashlock family and for everybody at there. Maui, we love you. We're here, and we're here for you. So,
yep. And then too, I want to say this also as well. It was really cool because Clark Leah, the head coach of Vanderbilt, all the profits from the game that they made, they donated actually to a fund to assist with the reuniting of families and providing of support for the recovery of that historic town in Hawaii. So shout out to Class Act Clark Leah. The dude has been slowly, bit by bit, changing that Vanderbilt program around. And I'm excited to see what happens in the future if Vandy allows him to cook. So really Class Act there. But breaking down the game again, like I said. A year over year, Hawaii improved to be within, a touchdown of winning that game against AJ Swan, who threw for 258 yards for Vandy and 3 touchdowns as well. I mean, both teams. I mean, I will say overall, Vandy was the sloppier of the two teams.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
And Vandy was fortunate to come away with the win.
I agree with that.
Overall though, the Rainbow Warriors, I love that team. Hawaii, actually, the Rainbow Warriors was one of my first college team hats that I owned. I don't know. I had the Hawaii hat, man. The white hat, the H on there, man. That's actually one of my first college team hats that I owned.
Yeah.
I always loved the Rainbow Warriors. I love their vintage logo as well. It's so awesome, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, their passing game was solid, but their run game definitely needs some work. They outgained on total offense. They outgained Vandy 391 to 297. They absolutely, by almost 100 yards, they were able to outgain Vandy. So Vandy definitely will have some work to do. And defensively, man, I don't know if you saw that.
They were pretty good.
Hawaii threatened the offensive line, terrorized AJ Swan, the quarterback, man.
Yeah.
I think they gave up. Vandy gave up 3 sacks to Hawaii.
Yeah. No, I think there's ones they had a lot of heart, a lot of fight in this team that I saw with against Vandy.
Yeah.
I just, it was impressive. I was kind of rooting for them at the end there.
Man. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And I mean, I will say, even though it was a late game, we had a bunch of late games this past week for week 0. Some great storylines, some great games. I was grateful that they capped it off with this as one of the games. I was happy to see that, man.
I think this is the gridiron. I think this is my match of the weekend here.
Oh, this is definitely my game of the week, man.
Yeah, game of the week. So
yeah,
I know others are yawning and be like, "This is week 0." But if you look at all this,
why? Why aren't you talking more about Notre Dame?
Yeah, you mean their tough game? Yeah, it was tough. All right,
and USC, and no, yeah, we're talking about some teams that deserve the spotlight here,
especially Hawaii right now.
So. Yep, exactly, absolutely, man.
I would say look at Brandon Shaker, P. Ashlock. I don't think that's done.
No, so. I think Braden Shager is going to be one of those players that stays in the conversation. I mean, he's no Colt Brennan yet, but I don't know if you remember Colt Brennan.
I do remember Colt Brennan.
Yeah, but Colt Brennan was a machine, man, for Hawaii back in the day. I think wasn't Sonny Dykes the head coach there at that time, or no, it was someone else. Yeah. I can't remember who was the head coach at that time. But anyway, yeah, man. Keep an eye on Hawaii this year. I think they're going to put up a lot of fight. They're going to put up a lot of close games for a lot of folks.
Yeah, because their next 3 games are Stanford, Albany, and Oregon, so they got a tough schedule.
Yeah, I mean that Stanford game is going to definitely be one I think they could pull off.
Yeah,
a win. Albany, they better win. Oregon, I think that's going to be a really rough game. Oregon's looking good this year, man. Yeah. So. But anyway. Do you think there's any expected movement really this week for the top 25, or are we gonna have to wait probably till next week to see anything? I mean, do you have any games you're really excited about this upcoming week, man?
Let's see here. Look at the schedule. I
mean, I know the one I'm most excited
for. There's a lot of games this weekend, man.
There's so many to kick it off, man. Football, college football, the big games. There's 2 big games starting it off Thursday night for us. We got my boys, Minnesota Golden Gophers, rowing the boat. Nebraska's coming in town. They got a sold-out stadium that night.
There's one Thursday night game that what am I doing? Oh, that's right. I'm working. Shoot. I better watch this game. Florida, Utah.
Yeah, Florida at Utah, man. You got that. SEC.
I almost puked just doing it, but we're bipartisan, so I gotta help.
Yeah, we love all our college football teams here, man.
Minnesota, Nebraska. I'm excited for that one. There's a lot of things going on, man.
Yeah, things
going on.
For all of those you don't know, I'm also like I live in Baton Rouge right now, so I'm kind of been ingrained into the LSU culture.
Have you?
LSU. Yes,
you could have just went up another 2 states and be with me. No, you would have. Nope. Yeah, okay.
Hey. Anyway, but no, my favorite team, though, is University of Minnesota, the Golden Gophers. I love PJ Fleck, the head coach there. Really excited for this game. I think it's going to be interesting, too, with Matt Rule, former Baylor head coach, former Carolina Panthers head coach. Mm-hmm. This is his first game as the head coach at University of Nebraska. Nebraska still trying to regain that former glory. 2 great games. I know Minnesota sold out for that first game. It's a gold out for that first game. Mm-hmm. So it'll be an interesting atmosphere. What other games we got? We got on Friday night, we got Louisville at Georgia Tech. So there could be some interesting things there, a little under a sleeper game. But Saturday starts the slate with some college game day. Pat McAfee going nuts, man. Are you excited, bro?
I'm excited. I'm excited.
And they're going to be on site. They're going to be on site finally. I believe they're going to be.
Where are they at this week?
They're in Charlotte for the North Carolina-South Carolina game that evening.
Oh, man. I cannot wait for that game. The Miami. Hawaii. I just now noticed that the Miami game.
Yep.
Double Miamis.
Yep.
I'm definitely gonna be interested in that game. But no, man, we had a full slate. Like we got a full slate on Saturday with Premier League.
Sunday.
We got a full slate on Saturday. We got 3 games on Sunday. I mean, what are you talking about?
we got the big one on Sunday.
Well, the big one's Sunday night.
Yeah.
I better wrap that up that night. Florida State, LSU.
Yeah, that's gonna be the game. That's game of the week right there.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm excited to see. We got some big matches early Saturday or big matchups early Saturday morning. Colorado's at TCU at 11 a.m. on Fox. We got Utah State at Iowa. I just want to see how Iowa performs with the new quarterback, Gabe McNamara, the transfer from University of Michigan. We got Virginia at Tennessee. We'll see how that.
Shout out to my boy Ryan.
Yeah, Ryan, man, he's following us. I saw Ryan.
He's following. Yeah, we love you, dude. Love you, man. Love you.
I hope UVA shocks the world.
You know what? I asked him, hey, man, you guys gonna beat Tennessee? He goes, no, we ain't gonna beat Tennessee. That's gonna be a loss. He's a very realistic man.
So. No. I will say that UVA they got a lot to overcome this season, but it would be amazing if they did. We'll hope they did. In the late afternoon games, man, at 2:30, we got Boise State at Washington. That's, I think, sleeper for game of the week for me. Sleeper game of the week for me.
Bluefield people.
The Bluefield. Well, they're actually at Washington, so they're at the Huskies.
They're at the Huskies. Oh, that's going to be interesting because we want to see what Washington does with their quarterback and.
And Boise State's one of the top group of 5 teams this year too, man. They're back in kind of some relevant conversation on that. Yeah. We got early Big Ten game as well. Ohio State's at Indiana. Ohio State, hopefully, we'll see what happens with them.
Pat McAfee wrote this game down a little off against West Virginia and Penn State.
You're talking about that one?
He said Penn State, West Virginia, that's going to be a tough game. He looked right at Kirk Street, and they started laughing because Pat McAfee was probably the king of sarcasm right there.
Are you talking about Ohio State? Or you're talking about
you're talking about Penn State, West Virginia.
You don't even want to talk about Ohio State.
He doesn't. I'm moving right on from that. I think he played it down. Yeah, and I think West Virginia might upset. That's going to be my upset of the week.
Oh wow! Well, I mean, I will say Neil Brown, head coach of West Virginia, former Troy head coach, he's coaching for his job this season, man. He's coaching for his job this season. He's not won more than 6 games since he's been at West Virginia. So that team's gonna be fighting for him. I think they're going into a whiteout. They're going into the first game of the season at Penn State. Man, I think I'm with you on that. That could be a potential upset game right there. I'd like to see it happen, but we'll see, man. Also, too, if you're looking for a great read, speaking of coaches on the hot seat this season, coaches coaching for their jobs this season, new blog dropping tomorrow on footballfieldpass.com.
I'm reading it.
Yeah.
Who's reading it? This boy's reading it. I'm reading it. Love your blogs, man.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it. Yeah, and that's another thing, too, here at Football Field Pass. The news doesn't stop with the podcast. We got stuff coming at you all week on our social media and on our website, so be sure to follow us. Stay in the loop with us, and make sure to show us some love. Because we love you guys. But continuing, man, I also think one of there's 2 group of 5 games that evening, which I'm actually really excited to watch. UTSA at Houston. UTSA, a lot of folks are giving them that they've received a lot of votes in the preseason AP polls. And Houston has a really high notch offense. Dana Holgerson, former West Virginia head coach, he's running that air raid style offense there with a little bit of spread mixed into it. I think that's going to be a good group of 5 game. And then also Southern Alabama at Tulane on Saturday night. That's another group of 5 game. Tulane is slated to be the top group of 5 team this season, threatening for they beat USC last year in the Sugar Bowl. Or was it Sugar Bowl? It was the
championship game.
Not the championship game. It was Tulane. It was one of the bowl games. One of the big
it was one of the bowl games.
Yeah, it was one at Arlington. Cotton Bowl. Yeah, Cotton Bowl, man. But yeah, Southern Alabama, a lot of folks have said has really been a slowly climbing group of 5 team. They're going to be, I think, giving a little bit of a threat potentially to Tulane, but Tulane's returning a lot of firepower. We'll see what happens, man.
Yeah.
But I'm also really excited for that North Carolina South Carolina game. I'm a big fan of Shane Beamer. I don't know if you are, man. That guy's got just some great stuff on there. But anyway, yeah, man,
it's looking good.
Yeah.
Let's just watch. Let's go.
Let's see what happens.
Let's do it.
Let's see what happens.
Let's watch some football.
Absolutely. Absolutely, man. I'm excited for this weekend's slate of college football.
Well, we got a lot. Man. We got a lot going on, man. All right, man. Well, this is we're heading into our picks for players of the week in both football, in the soccer, man. Who's your Premier League pick for player of the week, bro? Premier League.
Yeah.
Let's see. Premier League. Ooh, Madison, Tottenham, Hotspur.
Madison, Tottenham.
Yep.
Ooh, ooh. I mean, mine's
Great
Darwin
first
Nunez,
goal.
man.
Great first goal. Oh, Nunez. Oh, of course. Of
I mean, he's the
course.
hero, man. He's the hero of the weekend.
He is the hero of the week. I'm not going to lie. Liverpool's got a
Mhm.
statue already building for him outside North London. They're already like talking about championship days. They're already saying Man City at this
They don't know.
point.
They don't even know. They don't even know.
I don't know yet. So,
Yeah.
that's a good pick. I like that pick. What
Yeah,
about
man.
gridiron players? What you got?
For me, I know it's kind of lame, but Sam Hartman, man, he was as good as advertised. He came out, he executed really well, looked confident. I can't, blame him for looking really well there. But I know who you got. You ready to spoil that.
Brandon Shaker. Go Hawaii for their first week. I think it was a win. I think it was class act from all two teams. Brandon Shaker, we gotta look for him.
Yeah.
Is he a freshman or a sophomore?
Braden Shager is, I believe, a sophomore, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
He is a sophomore. Yeah.
All right. He's gonna be good. He's
We'll
gonna
see
be
what.
good.
Yeah, we'll see what happens, man. I think they got some good pieces coming in this year.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, absolutely, absolutely, man. Well, one thing we haven't talked about yet, and we promised we would talk about, is conference expansion and our thoughts on that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
People hate them. People like them. People doesn't like them. What do you think?
I don't, man. I'm really not about it. I know it's a money grab. I know it's an opportunity to put more money in the university's pockets for facilities, projects. It just makes no sense to me. The fact that the Big Ten is so this is all the teams switching over. We already talked about the ACC. We talked about SMU. We talked about SMU. We talked about Cal and Stanford reportedly joining the ACC. So 2 West Coast teams going to the Atlantic Coast Conference makes no sense. Then the Big Ten in 2024 has University of Washington, Oregon, USC, and UCLA joining them, which again makes, Big Ten makes more sense because they've been doing this whole coast to coast thing they've been wanting for a while.
Right.
Ever since they added Maryland and Rutgers in 2012.
Right.
SEC, we talked about them a little bit. They've got Oklahoma and Texas coming over next year. And then the Big 12 actually added a bunch of teams this past year with the addition of BYU, UCF, Cincinnati, and Houston. They're all Big 12 teams now. I mean, that's one thing to think about is the University of Houston, man, is a Big 12 team, as well as UCF. Then next year, from the scrap heap of the Pac-12, because the Pac-12 is no more. Now that USC and UCLA have bolted, Colorado, who former Big 12 member, is coming back. Utah is joining the Big 12. Arizona State and University of Arizona are all going to be joining the Big 12 in 2024, man. So I don't like it. I think it just creates too much commercialization in college football. I think it destroys traditional rivalries. I think it destroys a bunch of things that people have come to love about college football.
Yeah, you gotta take for me, it's a change that's we're not gonna be happy about.
Yeah,
I think the players are not gonna be happy. Fans are absolutely not gonna be happy about. But you gotta look at this in a very optimistic, good way. Because rivalries are gonna be happening. If you're a smaller school, like there's a lot of opportunities that you can. It's good.
Yeah.
All right. If it's gonna be the way it is, good. Let's expand on it. Let's respect our enemies. Let's respect our teams. Let's you got to take the good without the bad. Stop complaining. Not saying you are. I'm just saying in general.
I'm an old grumpy man. I just want
no, not you. There's a lot of people who are grumpy.
I want my same dang $5.99 breakfast I've had for my whole life.
Stop. No, I think there's just people are complaining that this is a bad, but it's also a good thing.
Yeah,
I think this will be a good thing for college, like for the Pac-12. If you're a good leader, and you be like, okay, all right, well, this is our conference. This is what we're going to do. We're going to make it better. You always want to look opportunity. Leadership's up, not leadership down.
Yeah,
and I just listen, I don't want Oklahoma. Let's be honest. I don't want Oklahoma, Texas. I want to be honest. I don't want Oklahoma, Texas. All right. I don't want them whiny little Sooner Nation, Boomer Nation. Get out of here. But you know what? You're here. So, and I don't want that orange, my man, McCollum. All right. You know, I don't want it.
Well, you have an opportunity to put
we
them
have
in
an
their place,
opportunity.
man.
But we have an opportunity to be like, welcome to the SEC. We'll see you then.
Yep.
So
yeah, man. I like it. I'm a fan of what's happened with the Big 12. I love that a bunch of teams like UCF, Houston, Cincinnati are finally getting their due and being brought into a Power 5 conference. So anyway, man, that's my thoughts. I do think there'll be some good from it. There'll be some good competition from it.
Mm-hmm. No, I agree. I think you gotta take the good with the bad. You gotta let's get see what happens. Let's see what happens.
Awesome. All right, man. Well, I think that's all we got this week.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I mean, I want to shout out to everyone. Thank you for sticking with us.
Yeah.
This is our second episode. We're so grateful for everyone who's taken the time out of their weeks to listen to us, to talk with us, to follow us. I mean, we're so grateful to you. As always, don't forget you can find us every week here. We're a weekly podcast.
Yep.
But Chris, I'm excited to see what happens this week with college football. Excited to see what happens with the Premier League. It's gonna be bananas,
dude. Bananas.
BANANAS.
I'm so glad Gwen Stefani told me how to spell bananas after all these years.
Never forget it, man. Never forget. But yeah, man.
All right, man.
Until next time.
Until next time, man.
All right, y'all. Thanks for listening, y'all.
Bye, guys.
Hey, guys. Kevin here. On behalf of Chris and myself, we want to thank you so much for watching this episode of Football Field Pass. In between episodes, we encourage you to head over to our website, footballfieldpass.com, for more exclusive content like blogs and more. We also encourage you to follow us on social media and get into the conversation there and let us know what you want to hear about. We can't wait to see you next week on another episode of Football Field Pass.